How happy were you for our boy Belal?
Dude, as soon as the fight started, too, I was like, he's got it.
Huh?
He's got it.
Yeah.
Called it.
As soon as he's just their presence in the cage and how they were just looked energy-wise.
He had
and
a
then the
swagger.
first exchange,
Yeah.
I was like, he's dialed in.
Yep.
It's his night.
I was telling Eric, he had a swagger about him all week just from watching the clips and stuff like that.
He believed
looked-
it. Nobody else did.
Yeah.
He's the
He
only
looked-
one that has been believing it the
He
whole
looked
time.
so confident, man.
Yeah.
So confident. Yeah, what were your thoughts on that fight overall? Obviously, super happy for him.
I thought his striking looked better than it ever has. He looked fit like a mother effer.
Sure
he
did,
was
man.
just jacked. I feel like he's peaking right at the right time in his career.
Yeah.
I feel like this is by far the best he's ever looked. I feel like he's getting all this attention, whether it's negative or positive. Bilal's one of those guys. What I always liked about him is he lets stuff roll off his shoulders like nobody else. People will say the nastiest, meanest things to this dude, and he will find a way to make a funny comment and come right
He's
back.
one of
at
the
these
funniest
guys.
dudes
He's
I've ever
hilarious,
met, bro.
dude. He's hilarious on
And
funny
he's
as
like
hell.
that.
Yeah.
When we used to train together at Rufus Sport, he was living with Jarrett. Dude, I'd go over and hang out with my God.
What a crew.
Yeah.
The TV's on the floor. There was like no furniture because Belal was going back and forth between Chicago and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So they just had this dingy 2-bedroom
Dungeon.
crap apartment.
Yeah.
And when I was there training, we would just hang out in there. Oh man,
How's
those were the
that-
good days.
How's that, like, I asked Eric this a while ago when we had Dan on, just from like a friendship perspective. How is it for you being like, again, you were in those moments, 2-bedroom apartment, no TV stand, everybody's scrapping for food and to make rent and all this kind of shit, right? And then you see someone that you've been around for so long and chase one singular dream for so long and then do it. Like, what as a friend, like as a close friend, like how does that
Dude,
feel?
I mean, that's all I kept saying. I was like, he did it.
Yeah.
He did it.
You did it, dude.
Yeah.
That's all of us have wanted to do. And there's very few people
Yeah.
that get to actually go and do it. And I remember I messaged him. I was like, you did it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you did it. Not many people ever even get to say that. Not that I think it's going to be a one-off.
Right.
But even if it is,
You did it.
Right.
you just went and beat that dude that everyone counted you out,
Yep.
especially against that guy because of how one round looked in your first fight when he even took it on short notice. It was like,
And by the way, he's only gotten better. Both of them.
Yeah.
Neon, but definitely Belal
Yeah.
have gotten better.
What from like putting your analyst hat on, like were there things that surprised you that Belal did where you were like, oh, that was easier than I thought for him or something, anything
the
to that
amount of
effect?
times that he was able to just pick him up and like throw him
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when he's had 2 fights with Usman, where, I mean, Kamar got taken down
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
Leon. Belal almost broke the dude's neck,
Yeah.
picking him up and throwing him on his head.
Colby too. I think Colby took him down once,
Yeah.
maybe
So-
in that fight?
Like in the last round.
Yeah.
So his wrestling and whatever he's just the amount of work he's been putting in. I know he's also been training a little bit with like Islam and
Yeah.
you can tell that he's been
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he told me about those training sessions and he's like, dude, it's just absolute madness.
Yeah.
It's madness.
I think the one thing that doesn't really go as noticed is like the coaches in the background that he's been with for so long now too, like Horatio and
The same
Mike,
crew out of Chicago,
Mike,
right?
Lewis Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have really put
Oh,
together a great
Lou's
game
got to
plan.
be
Yeah, Lou's got to be
so pumped,
yeah,
bro.
for sure. I mean, and dude,
because he had his moment
he
with
had his
PFL,
moment with
right?
PFL, exactly. And I remember Belal being there.
So
when he
happy
won.
for him, and
So
now
happy
it
for
gets
him.
to go the other way.
Yeah, but it's
really cool.
also nice, like, to be around that moment, like for guys to be in the gym and see Sean Strickland win, right? It raises the level of everybody else in the room. They all
Yeah.
feel this energy,
And
They
you
feel
know,
that
like,
vibe.
hey,
Yeah.
it's
possible.
it's
Sure, it's
doable
possible.
if you
Exactly.
show up, believe, and actually just work.
Right.
Because that's all Sean does.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
shows up,
Just
freaking
works.
goes.
Just shows up and works. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, couldn't be happier for the guy. He's a fucking riot. He's leaning into the heel roll. I love it.
Dude, big time.
and
Big
doing
time.
well at it.
Yeah.
No, he's doing
Him
But
and
if people are going to talk trash on you and just for some reason not see the same person that we see and
Yeah.
hate on you, He's just, all right,
Yeah.
I'll give you something to hate.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the last things I said to him. I was like, bro, hate you, love you. People are viewing you.
Yeah.
His belt getting wrapped around his waist has like 20 million views or something like that. So I was like, no matter how anybody feels about you being
Dana's
champ.
face was like fucking.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
I mean,
matter,
like,
right?
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though, as soon as you start seeing views, his
Yeah, that's
opinion
all-
will
Of
change.
course,
all it is,
yeah, of
analytics,
course.
bro.
It's the
Ask him about Power Slap.
It's the Mayweather. Yeah, it's the Mayweather. What's the word I'm looking for? Like not effect, but the Mayweather way, right? Love me or hate me, you're tuning in to watch.
Right.
You're either watching
Even
me,
Connor,
tuning in to watch
right?
me get.
People
Yeah,
loved
Connor,
him, but how
yep.
many people then started to want to see him
Yeah.
lose? It's
Right.
like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Mendez gonna beat him. Oh, Aldo's gonna beat him. Oh, Eddie's gonna beat
Yeah,
him.
didn't
You're
matter.
tuning in. It doesn't
You're
matter.
watching.
Yeah.
What do you guys? So I know Shavkat is like the name that they keep talking about next for Belal, but is there anyone like as a fan, I'd love to see Usman and him fight. I actually think that's like a very more interesting fight than Shavkat.
They're certainly
But-
trying to set that up,
Right,
aren't they?
their Twitter back and forth has been funny. I think, as you mentioned earlier, Bilal's kind of 10-9'd him on every Twitter exchange they've had. Is there something next for Belal that you guys would like to see? Is it Shavkat? Is it Usman? Is it someone else?
I mean, as far as the rankings, I guess Shavkat is the guy, but who else? I mean, can Usman sneak back in?
I mean,
or is
you
that
would
just?
think he would need to get a win.
I think he's
right?
got to go
But, I mean,
fight somebody first.
I would think that, but Israel Adesanya's got a title fight coming off of a loss. But I think when you're a guy like Usman who's done it and pound for pound #1 for a while,
I think that's why he can backdoor in
100%
to a fight like that.
Like a guy like Usman should be able to backdoor anytime he
Yeah.
needs to. Pause, But you know what
No
I'm saying?
diggity.
I think it's
Yeah.
a good fight for him, and I think Bilal's kind of making the right call out if that's a fight, and he has the opportunity to go try to knock off a guy who was
One of the best to ever do it. Yeah.
one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I don't know who. I get your point about Usman having to fight someone, but I don't know who he would Who would he fight to earn
Yeah.
it? You know what I mean? It's like
Well, it was interesting
at
because
his point, at his stage
Shavkat?
of his career.
yeah. So Bilal and I talked
Yeah.
a bunch.
He's not going to do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I looked at you like.
But they were trying to make that matchup a while back.
Who?
Bilal and Usman.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Bilal called me, this is like a year
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
remember?
yeah, yeah.
And it was like,
He
hey,
said they were.
they wanted to
reaching
try
out
to
about
match.
that.
And I'm like,
They even said it at one point without actually either guy having
that's
signed.
right.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes
right.
they'll just be like, "Well, this is
Yeah.
what we're thinking."
yeah.
And
I do remember
know.
that because I remember him calling me, going, "Bro, I didn't even."
I didn't
agree to
because
this.
that's what I said. I
didn't
said,
say
"Oh,
it."
bro,
Yeah.
you get in that fight," and I was excited.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I didn't
Yeah,
get
that's
that fight."
right. So,
old
but,
UFC.
but for in Bilal's situation back then, it didn't make any sense for him to risk
Right.
fighting Usman when he literally had a title
Yeah,
fight.
he was the
right
one on the
there.
roll,
He
yeah.
was the next one up. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just glad that they, every now and then I know there's matchups that they want to make that are more enticing, that are going to sell more. But this is one case where it was like, all right, you gave the right guy that title shot.
Yeah.
Giving Belal that shot.
It's like Belal is in that category with Leon, ironically enough, and like guys like Tony and things like where it's undeniable after a fact.